Hello everybody and welcome to this evening's Evesports EGL 1 2021 main event. We're here in Season 2 in the lower bracket once again. We've got the old guard versus the new guard, Damage Control versus Nibble, Conspire. Somebody's going home this evening, and Nick, I reckon this is going to be one of the biggest teams to have been eliminated in the event so far, so this is going to be a tough one for somebody to swallow.
Yeah, definitely. These are two teams who got knocked out of the upper bracket in literally the first round. And I think both of them, like whoever goes home, as you said, is going to be one of the biggest teams. There are other teams in the second round of the low bracket, but as of the round in the first round of the low bracket, these are without a doubt the two biggest teams. And tonight's matchup could genuinely go either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys have had some recent history between one another. They actually played against each other in one of the early competitions that happened earlier on in the year, and Damage Control beat them, and I think it was a best of 3. They beat them 2-0. They cleaned them up. I think it was either Inferno or Dust 2. It was like a 16-3 win or something, if I recall correctly. Maybe a bit more like 16-6 or 16-7. And then they won the second map as well. And that was Vertigo. And it was sort of like, okay, you know, Nibble are playing Vertigo against Damage Control, so it's going to be an easy win. And then DC won like 16-13, probably seeing parts of the map for the first time since it's changed, and they still managed to get the win. Coming into the next time they played against each other was in ESCA. That happened on Inferno, and I think Damage Control won 16-9 there, if my information was correct. So, point being, Damage Control have got the green on them the past couple times, Nick. And, I mean, this is a young, budding Nibble Conspire team who probably would have expected to maybe be a little bit more competitive against them. So this is an opportunity for them now to sort of right their wrongs of the past.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every team out there, just like as they say in pro boxing, everyone has their bogey fighter. You know, everyone has that fighter which they just seem like they can't beat. And it just seems like Nibble Conspire, they seem to have hit a wall with Damage Control right now. They've lost in pretty much every reoccurring result that they've had in the past. Doesn't matter what map, they haven't even made it close to competitive besides that Vertigo outcome. But even then, like tonight, Damage Control didn't even worry about that. They just banned it straight away. They're not even going to face that map. But it does seem like Damage Control seems to be sort of a bogey team for Nibble Conspire. They haven't seemed to find the right answer to how Damage Control play the game, because they definitely have a different take on how to play the game than everyone else. And I mean, it works for them. And if it works for them, then, I mean, you can't say that they're doing much wrong. So maybe Nibble Conspire are going to have a bit of a different approach to the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, DC are the type of guys that just love keeping things simple. They just play their own style. They've got such an amazing synergy in and amongst the team as well. Of course, these guys have been friends for much longer than they've been teammates, and that's already been a long time. You know, we're talking like 15 years here sort of thing that the quartet of this Damage Control roster have been together. So there's just a huge amount of experience and synergy in this roster. But such a good understanding. And you come across the Nibble team where these guys have been together for a fairly decent amount of time. When you look at the likes of like Dagger and Rogue and Mohammed, and that for a long period of time. Pushes the team. Your people, I call him new, more, I suppose. He should be quite settled in the roster now, and at this point we can probably start to get a better understanding and idea of what we're going to be seeing out of this Nibble team in the weeks and months to come. Because initially, every time I cast one of their games, it's like, yeah, Shizzy's still fairly new to the team, so you want to give them a little bit more of a leeway. Now I'm starting to expect to see results, and I'm starting to expect to see everything coming together. So it's a big game for the Nibble team tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not really a conversation if you're going to compare the experience between these two teams. I mean, pretty much Damage Control has got experience in everyone in the scene. It doesn't matter who you look at them. However, you mentioned the name Shizzy, and he's had previous experience in other teams. He had a short stint on WRG towards the start of last year when he still played CS. Then he had a prolonged break, and then he came into this Nibble Conspire team as an AWPer, which hasn't been a role he's picked up as often. But I mean, maybe he can look to light a fire in this Nibble Conspire team, because as I said, it does seem like Damage Control seems to be their bogey team. And maybe tonight's the night where they have a response, because obviously winner of this game progresses in the tournament. They face Ikasi, which both of these teams will probably be the underdogs in that game. But I mean, it's the low bracket. Loser goes home. You got to fight to the death. And every time I say this could go 3 maps, but I feel like if there's ever an example of a series that can go
just say tonight's going 2 maps.
It's this.
Tonight's going 2 maps.
Yeah, tonight's going 2 maps. One of these teams
it's obviously going to be 2 maps. Nick, we've been saying it's going 3 every time it's gone 2. Now we got to try the reverse voodoo here, bro.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
You was just talking about whoever wins this, their next match will be against Akasi in the next round of the lower bracket. Now, although they might be considered slight underdogs, both of these teams will still fancy themselves against Akasi and think that it's a match that they can come out on the better side of. So my point is that it's not like, oh, just win this round and then you know the event is pretty much over for you anyway. There's still a lot to keep working for here in the lower bracket. Whoever wins tonight goes up against Akasi, and there's still potential to carry on going from that point, you know. So yeah, a big game here, and these guys are gonna have to fight hard in the lower bracket. No more easy games from here for either of these teams, Nick. So going to be a tough task, a tough challenge, but I reckon both of them are going to be hungry. Both of these teams are going to be hungry to get across the line tonight.
I can't tell you, there's nothing that Nibble Conspire want more than to play Ikasi. They dropped out to Ikasi, and arguably they threw that game and way back when in VS Masters, I think it was round of 16, top 16 team.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were up, I think they were up like 14-12, and then they ended up losing on the third map. It was genuinely
Wasn't that overpass, I think?
I think it may have been. But it haunts Nibble Conspire to this day. And there's some friendly relationships. And who else in Rogues? They're quite close mates. So, I mean, there's nothing Nibble Conspire want more than to play Ikasi. And there's nothing Nibble Conspire want more than to beat Ikasi. So, I mean, maybe it's just going to be the sheer drive that is going to take Ikasi, Nibble Conspire, not Ikasi, Nibble Conspire over the line against Damage Control.
But hey, you gotta deal with the first challenge before you start looking at the next one, because sometimes you might get a little bit caught in looking at something that's too far forward and not at the immediate task at hand. But I totally agree with you. It's definitely going to be a motivating factor for them. I mean, just bringing up that Akasi team for a second, they've made a roster change. Of course, DMS, who's gone across to Australia, he's immigrating. So Tianki has been brought into that roster, and that's two ex-Energy teammates who have sort of rejoined one another in himself and Lichlord now. So I mean, I think that upgrades that Ikasi team. It brings a nice amount of experience into a young roster as well. So I've got some good hopes for that Ikasi team in this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been the change, which has pretty much been the theme throughout the scene right now. I think you think of Royalty, how they lost firepower. I think Ikasi have obviously lost firepower. I think DMS was probably the standout performer in that team. But you picked up Tianki, you picked up the brains behind the brawn. They still have a hard-hitting team. I think Badger's one of the names that comes to mind. Obviously, Lichlord, he's no longer going to be RGLing. Tianki's going to be RGLing. So Lichlord can more focusing on the fragging instead of the RGLing department. So they've lost a bit of firepower in letting DMS, not letting it's as if Ikasi gave the yes or no's whether DMS could move to Australia. But they lost DMS, which is unfortunate. I mean, he's such a great player. I hope he carries on playing competitively in Australia. It would be super sick to see that happen. But Ikasi is probably, again, one of the favorites in the low brackets. I mean, in the low bracket, we've got some big names. Ikasi, first of all, Royalty, August Cutter, now WRG, and obviously the winner of this game. So we still have really big names. And obviously, every time we look at the upper bracket, that's ATK, Sin 5, Goliath, and DNMK. The loser of those two games fall into the lower bracket. I mean, it's so open-ended. You really don't know who's going to make it to the lower bracket final, who's going to make it to the upper bracket final. It literally could go anywhere.
I know, and that's exactly what we want, right? We want these competitive, close matches that are always bringing the entertainment. And we're going to have some great entertainment tonight with these two teams. Always love a lower bracket match where you've got like two very closely contested teams, right? Like with the game on Tuesday that I got to cast like 7 rounds of before my internet decided that I'd had enough. With that game, it was still like, Intercaliber versus XC Gaming Clubhouse. It wasn't like the biggest match sort of in the lower bracket, which always, not to be biased or anything like that, but it just brings a different element to the series and to the entertainment when you have two teams of the stature. And we're about to be jumping into the game here. Overpass is going to be the first map. Now, this isn't a surprising pick for me at all. This has been a map that Nibble Conspire have played for a while. And has always just been a very comfortable pick for them. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nibble here on Overpass. I think that this is going to be a great map for them. Having said that, Damage Control, they have shown potential on the map before, but this should be a surefire map win for Nibble coming into the series. And then we go to Nuke, which I don't think I've seen too much of Conspire on, actually.
I haven't either, in all honesty. I think maybe it could be a bit of a punish pick from Damage Control. I want to say that even though when Damage Control played Nuke, there was still the catwalk, which you could wrap around to heaven with. There was still the window in a hut. So maybe they're going to try to do a hut rush and realize, because there's no window here. What's going on? But I mean, Nuke could genuinely go either way. As you said, haven't seen Nibble Conspire on that much. But I think Overpass, Nibble Conspire, without a doubt, favorites. take this map.
Yeah, and we're straight in.
Away, and
Explicit.
Shizzy's going to open things up.
Yeah, already taking down Explicit on the push there. Was just trying to get some information. Cost him his life. Hellhound trying to set himself up to trade it out. But this is just a beautiful position that Nibble Conspire find themselves in right now. Nice early pick. So much time left on the clock. And they're playing the overpass T-side to perfection here in the first round already by just keeping their options open. You always want to have options available on the T-side as long as there's time left on the clock. By the nature of the geography of the map, it's a very quick rotation between the A and the B bomb side, as long as you have lowest control, of course. But you want to just be spreading out in your defaults, taking map control, and then making decisions based off of the situation.
Yeah, without a doubt. A Nibble Conspire, they're not going to overcomplicate things. They're just going to group up. Yes, they got their opening frag, and now they're going to train 3 players towards long. Style is going to be meeting them, and Dagger is going to be the first to fall. That was the play with Armor and that upgraded USP, but now Shizzy has chosen to take that up, and Style just ripped Ivan's head off. So now it's Mokhmad.
Oh my god, Style.
He's rolling back the ears.
He runs out of bullets, but he's still able to get enough time to reload. He gets himself a third. That's actually a 4th kill for him in the round. Hellhound, he just needs to get the 1, and he will. With the last bullet as well, he takes down Mokhmat, and it all falls apart for Nibble Conspire. Trying to make their way up long, they just couldn't deal with the threat that was Style, and he ends up taking 4 of them down in the round. Clean shooting from him gets damage control across the line, but what a big individual play that was from Style.
Oh my days. I was about to say, I think the danger man on this damage control side is probably going to be Star, right? He's probably the player who's going to be doing most of the heavy hitting from damage control. Mokhmat is going to be the contrary for Nibble Conspire. So it's going to be a head-to-head duel pretty much the whole time. And Style, again, he's going to be called to the plate. 2 eco is going to go his way, and just like that, it's Rogues. Ivan, rather, he's going to get taken out by Style. 7-1. Blinding start.
Yeah. Absolutely. He is, I mean, he's been very impressive ever since his damage control has sort of started to compete again. He's been good, man. He's been able to go toe-to-toe with most of the teams that are sort of outside of the top 3 in South African CS. Even against ATK, he had some moments. So, I mean, he's still definitely got enough ability and skill to be competitive against the teams of today in local Counter-Strike. Especially when he's got that AWP in his hands. He's not like the fastest, flickiest AWP, but he hits his shots. He's just so consistent at holding the angle, connecting the shot. Moving back, holding the angle, finding the shot.
I agree. I think if you think back to that August Cutter round 1 game, he was the player who was taking Inferno by storm. So if you're Nibble Conspire, you want to stay as far away from Style as possible. But I mean, finally, you're going to see a buy round coming out from them and see how damage control choose to alleviate the pressure that Nibble Conspire might just put onto them when these buy rounds start going Nibble Conspire's way.
Yeah. Nibble have done a good job of retaining a bulk of their util. And again, just playing this T-side quite nicely, showing presence towards the top side. You know, forcing the CTs back onto the bomb site, which is always the first key, because then you deny that information. Now they go down lows and they start to re-explore their options on this side of the map. Going to be closing the door behind them, which sort of infers they're going to be committing to this B bomb site. They've got 1 smoke only to work with, but it's actually Wounded who gets aggressive with the back of a flash, loses his life, and that's going to be prompting the exec. Explicit, he's been blinded for days, finally regains his vision, but only to be met by a hail of bullets. Style will be the first responder, and there's a couple low players here on the bomb site, Nick. This is not out of the realm of a possibility. If Instant can get in the mix, no, never mind. Instant's literally on the opposite side of the map right now. I don't think he wants anything to do with the Style. He's feeling it a little bit. You can see he's hanging around, but this is just for a couple exit frags, if anything.
Yeah, I do think it was a bit of an over-aggression from Dagger, all things considered. I mean, if damage control did choose to go for this round, and let's say in an alternate universe they won it, it would eventually come down to that Dagger, to Dagger just being overly aggressive, trying to take that duel towards lowers, which is not favored. It's a left eye peak. Style's going to chomp you up every day of the week. He's actually going to find Rogues in the retreat as well. Find the AK. If you're Style, you're smiling from ear to ear. 9-1.
Yeah.
An absolute We've only played 3 rounds, brother. He's 9-1, and we played 3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, his teammates have 3 kills collectively outside of him, Nick. So he's balling right now in the early stages. Wait, Nick, everybody else on the whole server right now has 8 kills.
Quick maths.
Let that sink in. Yes.
I was just double checking.
9, he has more frags than all other 9 players combined. And now he has an AWP. He's just going to be carrying on to rack up the numbers here and adds the tally. Decides against the early pick, or the early peak at least. But he's posted up in bathrooms here with this AWP, and he's going to be a menace. I mean, CT side is known as an AWP's paradise here in Overpass.
Yeah, I think Overpass is one of those maps which highly lends itself to solo aggression. You think towards bathrooms after you've lost that control. You think towards long, getting into some sort of a setup there. And it's a map in which the AWP has to have a say in it. You can't not
Yeah.
play without an AWP on CT side. You're gonna have a real tough time taking
Yes.
those duels. But if you do have the AWP, it's how you activate with it. How do you choose to take those fights towards long, towards bathrooms, a cheeky peek towards connector or underground now and again. So Style's definitely going to be the player he's going to be keen, walking up long, scoped in, all that good stuff. And he's going to see how it goes. But I mean, 5v5, 1 minute in the round. Mokhmat is going to shoot explicit through the wall. And if you're explicit, you can't do anything to that. Oh, it's just rough. It's rough sometimes.
That's going to be like the Pasha response, just like when Olaf did it to him. Remember, or was it when Pasha did it? I can't even remember. It was when Pasha banged and he just couldn't believe what he had done. Anyway, point being, it's a nice advantage here for Nibble Conspire to work with. A position that they've been in before, finding that opening pick when they're not able to convert the round. That was the scenario in the pistol round. And they're going to be committing to this B bomb site once again. Hellhound lies in wait, playing on the pillar. Going to try and use that smoke, but he's completely blinded up. Good util usage from Nibble as they get themselves into the bomb site. Next point of contention is going to be wounded, and he's not going to be mounting much of a defense either. You can see Style is itching to try and make a play through that smoke, but logic gets the better of him in 2 versus 5. Again, no option but to save this AWP, and again, almost a carbon copy of the previous situation where himself and Style, or rather Instant, had no choice but to save their guns. So this B bomb site has been under scrutiny, and it hasn't really been standing tall to the tests as of yet, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, Overpass is one of those maps where you got to, as CT, especially over towards the B side of the map, you really have to be careful about your utility. You can't be smoking off Monster twice when there's like a minute 30 not a minute 30 seconds, but like a minute 20 seconds left on the clock. You can't have expended 2 smokes already. You can't be using your utility too early, because as soon as you lose that water control and you split on, your utility is pretty much where the round is won and lost. Can you smoke off the molly towards barrels? Can you molly short and stop the exec? All stuff like that's going to come into the round. And I mean, Nibble Conspire, all things considered, really, really good take to that round. They got the wall bang through short. They were able to split the sights. The spacing was good. The flashes were good. And ultimately, they got the round win.
Yeah, and on top of that, I just want to add to a point on damage control defending that B-bomb site. They've shown quite a tendency to look to get aggressive, whether it's pushing Monster or short. Let me hold on to that point, as it's a push coming through Monster, this time from Nibble. And they're pushing into the pistols. Explicit finds one, but then it's a quick flurry of frags in the way of Nibble Conspire. So, I mean, shouldn't be too much issue mopping up from here. Hellhound with the P250 won't be much of a threat either. And it's the 3rd round in a row that Style and Instant are going to be saving their weapons.
And it's the B-bomb
that's the life of
an again.
Yeah, but I mean, this time with pistols, we won't get too concerned of that. Just to cap off the point I was making before that exit came through, DC have shown a tendency to look to get aggressive on the fringes of that B-bomb site, whether it's pushing short or Monster. And I mean, it's not a bad idea, but now that it's been punished a couple of times, we're probably going to see them looking to just lock down the defense from the bomb site itself, hold on to some of the util, and then play reactively once that exec starts to come through, because they've been punished now, and they need to just try and make sure they keep the numbers alive, because you really want 3 players in that B bomb site to defend their hit once it does come through.
Yeah, definitely. I think what they try to do early is they try to like aggress towards Monster, as you said, and I think sitting in that deep Monster smoke and asking for a flash through is probably a 1 or 2 rounds a half sort of thing. You can't do it every round. You can't expect to have that much success. But again, it's going to come down towards that water control. How do damage control choose to re-aggress towards that position? Because as a CT, you can dump utility towards that side of the map early, but then how do you take it? How do you retake it? Do you keep people there? Do you play a setup? Do you play hard towards water? Do you play hard towards the site? It's all things that's going to be going through damage control's mind. But I mean, it's another buy round, and hopefully it's not going to be Instant and Style, the last 2 players alive.
Yeah,
not
hopefully
like I
they
have
get to fire off a couple of shots this round.
Just,
that's
what I was alluding to.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they get to see some action this round, and it looks like they will be. Again, though, they're being very passive over at this A site, Nick. They're not really looking to take any fights. Once they're being forced back by the util, they're happy to take that and work their way back onto A. And that's fine, I suppose. They're sort of valuing their lives over map control. And I just think it's important to change it up in the half, that you don't become too predictable, so that the T's know they can just throw a flash and a smoke and you're going to be all the way back on the site. But I don't mind the option. In the end, though, it is going to be Nibble Conspire congregating around this B-bomb site once again. Surprise, surprise. This is where they've had most of their success so far.
And if you're
What util
Nibble,
do DC have left? They've
I
got
was just
flashes
about
and
to
an
say,
AG,
yeah.
not much.
They just smoke tunnels. So if you're Nibble, you wait the smoke out, you know? You know the utility they've used. They're actually going to choose to go through it with a pop flash. Mokhmat trying to run through the smoke is not going to fare well, but there's going to be 3 players pushing the issue up short. Rogue's going to be the first to entry. A nice spray transfer nets him 2 frags. Oh, and almost a readjustment onto the third. And just like that, the round has been lost just as fast as the first player fell. Now Shizzy
Yeah.
left in a 1v3.
That was really nice defense from damage control. Shizzy left by himself, as he says. He's going to have a crack at this. I mean, 12 seconds left. He's going to just opt to save the AWP. Good option. His team can buy up in the next round, so no problem taking this gun to the next round. But there we go, Nick. We see the value of having 3 players defending the B bomb side. You've just got that extra bit of insurance once the execute comes through, because if you only have 1 player wounded watching Monster and 1 player explicit watching short, explicit dies there, and then wounded probably gets wrapped on and they lose the sights again. So just shows the value in keeping that extra player alive, and not looking for that early aggression can actually pay off in the long run. So good defense by damage control. They finally lock down the B bomb sites, but it doesn't look like it's enough to deter Nibble Conspire just yet.
Oh, they're going right back. They've realized Styles over towards A. They're like, no, listen, y'all know how's it Oaks.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going towards that side of the map. They're just
We've
going to...
just halved the map.
Yeah, exactly. They want to play a 5v3 every round. They don't care about style.
Yeah.
He's pretty much 5 players in his own. He's done that heavy lifting, so they're just going to go straight back towards B.
Oh, yeah, they're not wasting any time in this round either. Wounded, he's been bypassed. He's going to be able to find the kill, but 2 players coming through the smoke will be overwhelming him. Ensign, with the quick rotation, gets himself in position to find 2 kills. Massive impact coming out of him with that quick rotation. And Style, he's gotten himself into heaven as well. Rogues has been brought down by a nade, so he's in a very troublesome position right now. Forced off by the mollies. He's actually been able to get off the site, but Ensign's not offering him anything up. Great discipline there from the man as he locks down the angle. Doesn't feel like he has to push forward and try and contest the plant. And he comes out on top.
I mean, props to Nibble Conspire. They've completely nullified Style. He was 9-1 after 3 rounds, and he hasn't gotten a frag since. So, got to look at the positives, right? Got to look at the positives. But I mean, the negatives are you've lost success in the B side. You've gone to try and hit it again and again and again. And DC, they've just read your book now. They had 4 players there. They won the round. Things going well. And Nibble Conspire, eco. Deco.
1 flash as well on Mokhmat, which I'll always be appreciative of. I mean, could actually have afforded a lot more util when you look at their economic situation. I don't know why they wouldn't have picked up an extra smoke and maybe another flash or molly, you know, come up with some sort of an exec.
Even in here, AK buy on Ivan, right? I mean, he had 6k, assuming that's his deagle.
Doesn't even buy armor.
It is his deagle. So he had 6k, you can buy here AK, bait your teammate, run into a side, trade frags, I don't know. Put some pressure on damage control, right? Because they've had it easy these past couple rounds. Well, not easy,
100%, but I mean, not only that, it's also when you look at the economic situation on DC, if that AK could find like 3 kills in the round, even if they lose the round, it still just keeps damage control's economy in check. So I think Nibble have missed a trick here, but Nick, don't worry, they'll go win the round now just with the Desert Eagles and 1 flash, all because we've said that. Grouping themselves up around the A site, just starting to make their way forward. Shots being fired, shots being rattled off, but it's explicit bullets that are connecting and doing the damage. And in fact, not even a single player will fall for damage control. They had the perfect read there as well. There was 3, nearly 4 players on the bomb site ready to welcome the T side.
Harry was so upset. He's always been over towards A, not having any
I know,
kills.
right?
And then explicit rotates up. He's like, you know, I'm going to take all the ecos. Instant gets 1. And then it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's that does tend to be the case sometimes, just things not going your way. 5-3 here, and after that run of 3 consecutive rounds, I thought that Nibble might start running away with the half. But damage control have done a good job to just bring things back into their favor here. 5-3, they've got some cash in the bank. All 5 of them stayed alive at the end of last round. The defense on the B bomb site starting to find some structure as well. So this is starting to look better for damage control here on Overpass, which is Nibble's map, lest we forget.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be something interesting to think, is that it is Nibble's map, and considering the history that these 2 teams have had playing against one another, Nibble Conspire not having any luck in that regard, you'd hope that they can get this map rather, and see whether we can see 3 maps for pretty much a blessing. You know, we haven't seen 3 maps ever, and it's frustrating because I don't want to see 3 maps of Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
That was very
It
true.
has
I actually
been
haven't
weird,
seen my
man.
face, can see that I was actually crying there. So
They did feel your emotion.
yeah,
just
without a doubt.
through your microphone. Yeah,
Yeah,
power
yeah.
stuff, Nick. Power stuff. You should
Dude,
start a drama.
just the riveting of emotion, emotive language, like 3 maps, like emotions
Yeah.
just
All right.
overflowing. Yeah, I'm gonna cut
I
it
think
out.
we
That's
need to
my
give Nick
bad.
a second to contain himself, guys. Still all 10 players left alive here on the server. And Nibble don't have much util remaining, Nick. I mean, they've got enough to make an exec happen, but nothing more than that. And Style, he could have free reign here with the AWP. Got support from Instant, who's playing up close on an off angle here, up close to the bathrooms. And there we go, Style takes down the long player. That's going to allow Instant to activate. He drops into toilets and he finds a second. Style's still alive, and kicking is going to add a second to his tally. Misses the shot on Even, but he's got the information. The rotations are coming through, and the defense has stood stern here on the A bomb site. Even with pretty much a prolonged life here, but certainly will be brought down momentarily, and he gets taken down by Explicit. And that's a great defense by Damage Control, because Nibble have now tried a few different options, Nick, and a couple of them have been shut down. So where to from here?
Yeah, that is a really good question, considering Damage Control, they won pistol, they won the conversion, and that conversion was a full eco, if you remember, when they rushed A and Style got nice frags with the FAMAS. Then they won the first gun round, they won the buyback, and then they won the full eco. And ever since then, it feels like they've been running into a brick wall. They haven't had any success over towards B, they haven't had any success over towards A, and I'm going to hold my thought. Instant with the M4, he's going to be farming, he's got 3. Shizzy, going to be the 4th to 4th, surely gets the ace. Come on, Instant. Wounded takes it from him. But one thing I have to give props to Nibble Conspire is during the default, they're not falling during the defaults. It's the execs that are the problem, right?
Yeah.
They're not running into sites 3v5. You know?
Stage 2.
Yeah. Exactly. They're running into sites trying to exec on a 5v5. So it's the pathing, it's the flashbangs, it's the timing that's letting them down. It's not the default itself, which is a rough pill to swallow, because if you're dying on the default, you can change it up. But if it's an exec, it's rough when you can't. That's sort of the stuff you change in practice. You know, you can't really change it in the heat of the moment. You know, it's tough if you're Nibble Conspire. But full props to Damage Control. They're doing everything well besides the mistiming of the boost.
Yeah. Even capitalizes off the back of that. They're going to try and make their way into the speed bomb site. Flashes the plenty. How hard stayed alive for this long? Oh no. He punishes them then with the double kill as well. Looking for some more. He's going to be able to find a third. Is he going to be cleaning things up? Surely not. It's the IGL Rogues left in the 1 versus 2. They know where he is as well. He's got plenty of time left to work with, but that's going to be the least of his worries. Got a good angle here on Hellhound. He's going to be spotting him underneath the smoke, and he has an idea of where Style is. He definitely knows where Style is now, but Style, with the biggest balls, just creeps up with the Desert Eagle, and Rogues is going to peek out and land the headshot to bury Style and secure the round for his team. A much needed round there for Nibble Conspire. That was looking good for them in the beginning, but then Hellhound nearly stole it from them.
Yeah, there was a player close monster. I don't know. I think it was Hellhound who just got overlooked completely. Like Nibble Conspire, they're going for this three short take with 2 people going towards monster, and they just seem to just be pathing right into the site, not really having anyone playing Overwatch. Ooh, Style! I was about to say, like, how can you not see him, brother? But he got the opening frag. That's what you want from your AWP. During the default, where Nibble Conspire can get picked off when a team is most vulnerable, you're opening up the round with the big green. And Dagger getting a response. Instant was...
Oh my god.
What? How many bullets have been sprayed? What?
Yeah, too many. And like almost 90 bullets were shot. 3 people firing off the full mag. And nobody goes down from any of it. Eventually, Instant will be taken down. And that means Styles now by himself on the A bomb site. Nibble keeping things even here. 4 versus 4 as they start again to group up around the speed bomb site. Oh, Dagger, I'm not sure that was necessary. And that was not their only smoke. He even still has one. That's really important. And Damage Control, they're starting to get a bit of a read going here. They've got players in position to deal with this hit, especially now that Explicit's taking down 2 towards Monster. Turns this into a very one-dimensional execute. Both of the remaining players situated on short. They're just like ducks into a shooting range right now. Hellhound and Wounded going to pick them apart between the 2 of them. And Damage Control just keep themselves going here. They keep the momentum. Even though they lost the round previous to that one, they get straight back to winning ways, Nick.
They're looking polished, man. In all honesty, like damage control, they're playing
Yeah,
like
they
really,
are.
really good Counter-Strike. They're more than happy to give up as much control in the world over towards A when they get the opening pick, which is perfectly fine. You can play back on the bomb sites. They have to execute. You can always retake. And they're having really good information timed peaks over towards shorts and over towards monster. And in that round, it netted them a couple frags. So damage control, they're looking really, really polished. A double push long. Style? He's missed a shot.
no.
He's got a deagle though.
Oh my god, Style! Oh, you hate to see it, man. It's unlucky that Shizzy only had a pistol there to try and take that fight with. Bomb gets planted on A though, so it's still Nibble who have made a read here and managed to try and make something happen. They find that kill on Wounded as well, but this is just still such a tough position that they find themselves in. Dagger caught between so many angles that he's trying to fight with, and Rogues, well, he's secured an AWP, but I think he needs to just try and take this into the next round.
Oh, you missed it. Did he miss
Molly?
it?
Did the Molly connect? The Molly's connected, brother. Oh!
That's so
He
unlucky.
gets to stick the defuse. Yeah, I'm not even sure if Rogues would have gone for that regardless. Looked like he was content with just saving the AWP. But 9-4 here as we head into the penultimate round of this first half.
And Nibble Conspire, they got to have some sort of response, right? I mean, 11-4 down on the T side of Overpass. It's kind of rough considering it is a T side where you may not have a lot of success, but you can still find the holes in the CT defense. But damage control,
Yeah,
they're looking really, really polished. I must say, they have playing some really good overall Counter-Strike. Rotations are really good.
Yeah.
And if you're Nibble Conspire, like what is the answer to this? Like damage control just playing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think that Damage Control are playing a pretty good blueprint of a basic CT side down Overpass. Instant by himself here is going to be able to find one, and Style's been heard out, so he needs to be so careful here that he doesn't go down to Dagger on the angle. Oh man, that's so unlucky for Dagger. The flashbang pops, but Style spots him just before he gets completely blinded, so he's able to get the kill. But I think that Damage Control have been playing a great example of just a basic blueprint on the CT side here, both on the A and the B bomb sites. If you want to sort of make Overpass one of your picks, this is a good basic way to go about the CT side. They haven't really changed things up too much or thrown in any sporadic aggression. Instin's sort of been the player towards the A side who's shifted things around, whether he's gone lowers or long, just to be that extra element of variety. But yeah, it's been a solid showing from DC so far. Wounded with the big job right now towards Monster. He wouldn't know it, but the two of the three remaining players are going to be making their way towards his position, and he catches Shizzy and he doubles down into Mochmat as well. Oh man, this is just looking so good right now on the defense. It's only even left, and he's not going to be connecting on any of his shots. It's a triple kill for Wounded, and it's a 10-4 scoreline for DC.
The Howl's doing work. You got that Howl. Ooh,
I did.
Oh, dude, that's such a nice skin. Someone gift me one, please. If you have like, I don't know how much those go for nowadays. I was gonna say if you have like 1,000.
Nick, I've been here. I heard you were looking for a sugar daddy.
I mean, you heard right. Is what I'm saying.
CS skins?
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, who would turn that down? Oh, 10-4. Nibble are going to be knocking on the door here on the speed bomb site. Again, all 5 players gravitated around the site. Gonna just keep things simple. Execute straight through. Wounded. Gets caught. Oh my god, it's gonna be a TK, and Dagger ends up going down as well. Explicit needs to get some work done. He's got support from Instant. The support coming from the heavens, and the angels are reigning supreme. Picks up 2 kills. It's just Shizzy left with the AWP. He's gonna hit a shot, but they know exactly where he is, and Hellhound's on a beautiful off angle right now, so he'll be taking him down. Even though he gets team flashed, doesn't change the outcome of that fight. 11-4. Not only that, Nick, but Damage Control won 9 of the last 10 rounds in that half. So they had all the momentum there in the latter stages of that first half.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Nibble Conspire, you have to have some sort of a response on the CT side. I mean, everything has to be polished. No one on the team is going positive, and all things considered, you're 11-4 down. It hasn't looked too great. The hard hitters have obviously been Instant and Style. Both the A players, 16-4, 16-3 respectively. But Rogues has been the guy carrying the mantle, and he's 10-11, and that's and he's just been taken out by Stott. 17 frags. He's feeling it.
Yeah, but dude, this is him with the P250. This has just been classic since like 2008. You give the guy a P250, he buys armor, and he'll just find frags for you. Not afraid of taking any fight against any USP player. Has huge amounts of confidence, and especially because he's got all these kills in this game, he is ready and waiting to do more damage. And it looks like they're bringing the bomb back across towards the A site, but it's still very far behind right now, so they need to wait for Style, or rather Style needs to wait for his teammates to get a little bit closer, and that's a great shot on a very narrow angle there for Ivan. Explicit wants to try and look to trade it out in the vicinity right now. He spots the head. It's a bit of a bait and switch going on right now in that A bomb side as well. And this might have been enough to force Damage Control to consider some ulterior options. Instant still in lowers, so nothing off the table as of yet.
Ooh, a flash hit the bomb site though, but the question is, does the player close track get checked? He does eventually, wounded with the trade. And now if you're Nibble Conspire, you just got to play retake. You got to accept that the bomb's going to get planted. You're not going to really have a say in that. So wounded, he's going to go back, retrieve it. The bomb's going to be planted in front of Dice, and they've got a really good post plant. You spoke about Instant being in lowers, so he's going to be the guy locking this off. Wounded, he's going to get another kill. Dagger through the smoke, going to be the first to fall. Another.
Oh my
god! And now 1v3.
And Wounded's feeling it. He wants to try and take the fight. It's actually going to lead to his demise. Explicit recognizes he needs to get out of here and play the long game. Still a numerical advantage for Damage Control, but Mohammed's got the kit. No util, but he's got that time on his side right now. And Nick, he's just going to look to try and stick the defuse. What an absolute mad lad. Still somehow able to get off, but he takes the fight. Tapping away, he's going to find the kill on Explicit. And he wants to try and chase down Instant here, but Instant, he's seen these situations before, and even though he's going to get absolutely destroyed, he's going to walk away with the win in the round. Damage Control win the second pistol. They go up 12-4, and that spells trouble here with a capital T for Nibble Conspire, Nick, because that pistol round was of utmost importance for them to try and mount a bit of a platform here on the CT side.
Super important, and it's more than just the round on the board. It's sort of like team morale, you know, like you've lost so many rounds on T side, you seem to have run into a brick wall, and you needed that pistol round just for the team to bring things back. So what they've done in response, complete full eco. The only player who's going to buy something is going to be Mohamed, who saved the armor from the previous round as well as a flash. And they just try to do a flash play towards Monster to see if Damage Control were rushing, try to see if they can get a couple frags. But it should just be all she wrote. Wounded, he should have this information that it's going to be a massive 5-man stack over towards this B site. So Damage Control does look like they're leaning towards this side of the map, but I don't think they'll get too ahead of themselves. They've been playing really well tonight.
Yeah.
They won't just rush into B. I think they'll wait for the information to go their way.
I mean, they are poking and prodding at the moment, but not outward committing, which is what you want to see in these sort of situations in your anti-eco rounds. You don't want to make any commitments without some sort of information, because then exactly this could happen. You run into a stack, and it looks like they're just relying on showing a little bit of presence in lowers and top side. That will be enough to perhaps force some rotations, but they're very wrong right now. There's still a full stack on this B-bomb site. I mean, it is only USPs and a P250, but we've seen these sort of situations go awry very quickly in the past, and Damage Control, they're going to be committing to this B-bomb site. Wounded leads the charge with the MAC-10, and he spotted them all out, so the information will now be there. Mohamed with the P250 doing the Lord's work right now. Somehow, he's been able to come good with 2 kills. Hellhound's also brought down fairly low. He's going to get double thinked by the USP players, and this is going from bad to worse right now. At least a kill comes back for Instant, but Mohamed is continuing to do damage. Oh my god, he's found 3 with the P250, and there's only 18 seconds left on the clock here. Hellhound trying to play the aggressive game here, pushing forward, but he's been spotted out by Mohamed, and they're going to double peek him. Rogue gets in on the action with the frag of his zone, and Nibble Conspire have done it. USPs and a P250 is all they needed, and Nick, that's why you want information in your anti-eco rounds.
Singing their praises. I don't think they're going to overcommit if it's towards this B site, right? Surely not. They're going to wait for the information, and they just didn't. I thought they could have sent a player with a MAC-10 in. If he dies, it's only a MAC-10. You can hightail it towards the A-bomb site and whatnot, but I mean, just Mohamed with the P250 gets 3 frags, and the USP just clean up the rest, and just like that, Damage Control on pretty much a full save, and Shizzy is going to be entertained. He does get dinked, so he's going to run away, and maybe trade of eco rounds, possibly, maybe.
No ways. No, it's not happening. It ain't happening, Nick. Shizzy's in such a bad position right now. Oh my god, he's going to get taken down. There's a response, but the A bomb site is has had a rotation. Rogues is in position, and Style's going to look to try and get in towards the site, and he goes down. That's going to be bringing some calm back to the situation for Nibble Conspire. Big kill there. I reckon Damage Control is just going to try and play the time here. Now that they've got that AWP on Instant, he's just hoping to find a pick somewhere, but Nibble not giving anything away right now.
I think if he finds us... Ooh, okay, he's been spotted out. So, now the jig is up. No, they're still gonna... No, they're not. They're not gonna press towards A anymore. I mean, maybe. They're sticking around. 44 seconds left. Maybe, I wouldn't even be opposed if Instant saves this. I mean, he's a more than capable AWPer. He can buy up next round, send in Wounded, see if he can get a bomb plant. But I mean, maybe we'll get more than just that. Instant's going to hard kill this
Instant
Stott angle.
Bro, he gets the first player, comes around, but he can't land the second shot. Oh my god, that would have been massive. I love that from Instant. He's just like trying to find the smallest gap, and he manages to push his way forward. He knows there's a crossfire that's been set up. He finds the first player. He even has a shot at the second. If he connects on that shot, Nick, that could have been devastating.
It genuinely could have been, but like again, if you're a Nibble Conspire side, no one's really taking the mantle. Obviously, the first buy round is underway right now, the first gun round that is. So now we're going to see who's going to step up to the plate for Nibble Conspire, who's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, because they haven't had a player do that so far this map. So now you've got to have people that are going to be absolute brick walls that they experienced all too well on their T side, running into players like that. Instant is fragging out. We were speaking about style, but Instant, he's taken the reins 20 and 7.
Wow.
But Dagger, really tough time, 4 and 16. But I mean, it all could change on the CT side.
Yeah, it has to change on the CT side if Nibble Conspire are going to be competitive on their own map pick. Explicit with the entry job here towards the B bomb side. He actually comes off worse for wear against Ivan. Limps away with 13 points of health. And it looks like we're going to be seeing some sort of a similar default here out of damage control compared to what we saw in that anti-eco, except now there's a bit more of an explorative mission out of style and Instant towards the, say, bomb site. Wounded with a big trade there onto Ivan, keeping things even, but again, damage taken in the process. So it's still Nibble Conspire who are in the driver's seat in the round. 43 seconds left. A lot of util been used by damage control. In fact, they only have a smoke and a flash remaining, so that's not going to be much to aid their cause. And they're very split right now as well. You can see the bomb has made a decision. It's going to be going back all the way through T-spawn, but Mochmat has found Instant, and that's a massive kill because it throws the cats amongst the pigeons. What do damage control do from here? They're going to commit to the original plan, keep going towards the A site. There's only 20 seconds left, so they don't really have much of a choice right now. And Wounded, he's towards this B bomb site, but he's not achieving anything at all. He's just hoping to catch a rotate off. I think they're going to be saving from here, Nick, and they are.
Oh, I mean, they just didn't have any entry into that round. I mean, Explicit tries to pick up short. He gets dinked immediately. He's like, Oaks, let's not go B. You know, B is overrated. And they're just going to save with 3 people staying alive. Instant and Hellhound's money is not going to be looking too great. So I do assume it's just going to be a full force right back into things. That should be the case. I mean, maybe you can get a couple Mac 10s. The AKs can go in after you. Okay,
Yeah.
they are going to full. I was about to say, why are you just buying a Tech 9, Instant? He bought armor. I was about to be like, why are you buying a Tech? But anyway, yeah. Things are going well. So finally, maybe Nibble Conspire can have some sort of rebuttal considering how the second half has started and how the first half had unfolded. Maybe they can make some sort of a comeback.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a big opportunity for them. Win this round 12-8, anti-eco 12-9 potentially. So, I mean, this is a big round for Nibble Conspire in terms of the greater scheme of things, and Rogues needs to be careful. You don't really want to be trading blows with those AKs, especially when there's 2 AKs up against your measly M4. That's not a fight you want to take.
Oh, no one likes the M4. All the boys hate the M4. Low key.
All the boys. Seems like DC are just going to try and burst their way into this B bomb site once the time does come. Got 4 of the 5 players situated in the area right now, and then just Instant towards the A bomb site. He's just trying to take a bit of attention towards the side of the map. Wants to make sure that there isn't any free information being found, and maybe, just maybe, try and draw a rotation, because right now all those players are very deep in the B bomb sites, and he's going to be spotted out. And let's see, that is a bit of a shift, Rogues, but now all the util rating is. He's going to realize he has to stick around. Style tapping away with the P250. Oh my god, there's a player in the corner. It's Ivan, and he's so important right now, and he does find the double. Converts that into the triple as he takes down Explicit as well. And now it's just Instant left remaining. He actually picks up 1, but that's all it is for him in the round. And Nibble Conspire, they stand tall in the defense. Massive round there from Ivan.
Really nice bait set up there towards Monster, I must say. Dagger, the first gunfight was really, really rough. I think he sprayed about 30 bullets and eventually killed him. But I mean, Ivan playing in the corner, super, super nice bait and setup. But again, that's a sort of setup one and done. You know, you can't really do that for the rest of the half. So they found success with that. But now it's all about adapting if you're Nibble Conspire. If you win this eco round, you're right back into the game. 12-9, as you were speaking about earlier. So maybe Nibble Conspire are going to make it more competitive. Shizzy, you could get run down with the crossbow. Oh
my god, what?
Nice double frag. Nice double frag.
Yeah, I mean, he should have died without finding anything there. So the fact that he finds 2 kills is great. I do question his decision making slightly though, to have been hanging around for as long as he did. Maybe it's just like one of those things. I'm gonna force this, whether I like it or not, or my team likes it or not. I'm gonna take this fight, and he's actually cost his team a pretty difficult position, because you look at the style has got the AWP to work with right now. He's already found a pick with it as well. Time left on the clock. This is anybody's round right now, even though the advantage still lies with Nibble. Damage control might be able to make something happen. And look at Inson's position. He is rooted right now, all the way towards T-spawn pretty much, just waiting for a flank to come through, which is not going to be the case. Style slowly edging his way up long. His teammate carrying the bomb Hellhound is in toilets as well, so it is going to be the A side once again. Nibble prepared for this though, because they've got Ivan in water. He's got all the information in the world. Exec coming through, crossfire set up, first kill does go the way of Rogues, and Dagger chimes in with one of his own. Even though Inson picks up a kill, that's all it's going to be in the round for him. And although damage control finds some economic damage, it's Nibble Conspire who now draw within 3 rounds, Niix, so they're going to be feeling a lot better about this thing now, about proceedings.
Definitely, considering how the first half went, as I said, like earlier, you had a real tough time. But I mean, now's where you start to cement a comeback. Now's where you start to put the throat on damage control, and you put all the pressure back onto them. I mean, if you can string these next couple rounds together, this is an extremely important buy round for the economy situation. I mean, Nibble Conspire, you lose this, you're in an eco. Damage control, you lose this, you're in another eco. So this is Nibble Conspire's round. If they can get an opening pick, if they can activate with this AWP, as we saw Style have so much success on the CT side with his. I want to see Shizzy taking those aggro angles. It looks like it is going to be Mokhmat who's going to take things into his own hands. Style going to be under question, and he wins that out with the M4. Sick opening frag from Mokhmat.
That's such a classic Mokhmat moment as well. The guy he's so good at playing toilets with the rifle, so diverse, so keen to take fights as well, and just very tough to deal with, because he's not the type of player who's just going to force back with a bit of util. He's going to reposition himself, take another aggro angle, look to try and take another fight. He's one of those gritty players towards toilets, and opens up his accounts in this round by taking down his the opposite team's AWPer, which is a big kill.
Yeah, Style's definitely one of the danger men, and I mean, Inston's having an absolute cracker of a game, but running into a site without Style is going to be a bit of a tough one. 4v5. Doesn't look like damage control are overcommitting towards any side of the map just yet, just doing the lurk smoke towards the front of Banana, so Shizzy's going to respond with one of his towards long. But it does look like it is going to be the A site under question. Inston, he's now got the AWP. Styles AWP, see if he can get any work done with it. And Wounded's going to throw these flashes. If these kills don't go Nibble Conspire's way, they could have a real tough time. Mokhmat going to be the first to fall, and just like that, Shizzy taken down means that it's going to be a 4v3 post plant, a man disadvantage turn man advantage for damage control. In the flick of a, I always forget that phrase, bro. Like turn of a dime, I don't know. Drop of a dime. Is that it?
Flick of a switch?
Flick of a
switch, maybe?
I'm overcomplicating it.
Okay. I was going to say I think Conspire need a savior, because they don't have the best economic situation right now, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Good call from them to take these weapons into the next round, because otherwise they were going to have to eco, and if they lost the retake. So that would not have been a great position that they would have found themselves in. The question is, does Explicit hunt at all? Yeah, he's going the wrong way, unfortunately, so doesn't look like there will be any further frags in the round. 12-9 turns 13-9, and damage control are now 3 rounds away from stealing their opponent's map pick away.
And that's so big, man. If damage control can win Nibble Conspire's map pick, Nuke is next. As we said, we haven't seen a lot of Nibble Conspire Nuke. Oh, it's going to be such an uphill battle. And even now
that'll be super problematic.
Yeah, I agree. I thought if Nibble Conspire wanted to see 3 maps, it would have to be on Overpass. As we said, like Nuke, we don't know. For all we know, maybe they've been bracking Nuke super hard, or maybe they're super comfortable. But
I mean, maybe.
But I doubt at the same time, you know. So all things considered, I mean, if Nibble Conspire want to see 3 maps and want to prolong their life in the tournament, because obviously we've got to remember tonight, lower bracket matchup, loser goes home. If Nibble Conspire wants to stay alive, it's now or never. 3 more rounds for damage control to take the W, and Nibble Conspire, they got to find some success. Mokhmat, think back to last round. They had the opening frag, they had the 5v4, and it's just the exec that let them down. The players not playing off each other, not playing a good setup on A, means that damage control just had free reign. And Mokhmat, he's going to take things into his own hand, pushing middle. but it's going to be a 5v5. And not much utility on damage control on Nibble Conspire's utility belts.
Yeah. Big round for them here as well. So guys, just before we get into the round, we're going to be opening up the giveaway soon. So make sure you stick around for that. We're doing a 250 Rand Steam voucher tonight. We'll be opening up the entries for that in a couple minutes. Just a little bit of a sneak entry there for you.
I need to buy Valheim.
I
need to buy Valheim. Low key.
Well, I mean, you did get paid like 2 days ago.
Whoa, okay. I may or may not have bought gloves. That's what I'm saying. I may or may not.
Oh, God. You were talking about it, so at least you
everyone loves a bit of...
Big opportunity on Nick Instant coming out of lowers. Oh my God, it's Shizzy who finds both of those kills. Such a ballsy setup from Conspire, setting up here aggressively towards the fountain, towards Party. And they find the kills necessary to warrant that setup. Now, the attention shifts towards the defense on the B bomb site. 3 players left here for damage control. 30 seconds left on the clock for them to make something happen. And Hellhound, he wins out the first gunfight. The problem is Explicit's been smoked off here. He can't have an impact. He desperately wants to get on the mix, and he's going to have to try and lock out the defense. Oh my God. A quick flurry of frags means the end of the round. And Nibble Conspire keep themselves in the hunt here on Overpass.
Sick round from Shizzy. A very, very important 2 frags. You get all that information. And that was an extremely important buy round, all things considered. 13-9 down. You won. If you lost that buy round, you're 49. Your economy's in the dumps. You don't have a lot of loss bonus. That could have been the game. That could have been the game done and dusted. But I mean, a really important round. Three men stay up, which means the economy can start to build if you're Nibble Conspire. But again, you're going to have another tough round coming away. Damage control, max loss bonus. They can pretty much rebuy whenever they feels necessary. And again, they're actually going to press towards lowers. So it seems like a 2-2-1 sort of play. Mokhmat holding this angle. He found success against the AWP the other round. Okay, he's just going to fall back after he gets contact. Or is he? He is. Or is he? He's not. He's sticking around. I like it. He is. He's falling back. Told you. I was right.
You like it, right? That he fell back. That was what you liked the most out of everything you liked there.
Fact. Fact on facts.
DC, this time, I don't know if we've actually seen a full exec on the A bomb side in this whole half, and Styles gotten himself in position. He sees 2 players, but can't find either of them. And this has actually been enough to pull a rotation off across from that B bomb site, and it's with good decision making that they've decided to go ahead with that, as well as this is where the exec's coming through. Instant gets destroyed. Style trying to get in on the action, and it's very disconnected right now from damage control. Very, very disconnected as they try and make their way onto the A bomb site. Now Wounded and Hellhound are still so far back. They can't have any impact as Style tries to make his way forward. And they're just being picked apart one by one right now. This is the most disjointed that damage control have looked throughout Overpass, which could be a bit of a sign of the cracks that are starting to show here on the T side. They've only won 2 rounds in this half, of which one was the pistol round. So it certainly does look like Nibble Conspire are getting themselves back into this, and potentially, even though it's damage control are ahead 13-11, the scoreline seems to suggest, or it's slightly closer than the scoreline suggests.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Nibble Conspire have found quite a bit of success in the previous rounds. Important multi-frags coming out from Mokhmat over towards that A site, who we did say was the danger man. Style has been somewhat nullified this latter part of this half. He finished the first half with 17 frags. He's on 19 now, but Hellhound, he's going to open things up with Mokhmat. Shizzy only going to get 1, is he? He is going to only get 1. Hellhound, that sick double frag, means the A bomb side is vacant. Nibble Conspire, as soon as we sing their praises, we're going to have to retake in a 3v4.
And do they have a go at this? I mean, they have enough money to buy in the next round. I suppose it's only Shizzy who's lacking economically. That doesn't mean you have to go for it, right? Just because you have enough money to buy in the next round, because you can also think about the longer term. And it looks like that's what they're doing right now. Again, 4 versus 3. They don't have any entries into the bomb site. Let's just save the weapons. 14-11, DC keeping themselves in the huncher. Just as we were saying, it looks like Nibble, even though they're behind on the scoreboard, are probably ahead in the situation of and the standings of the game. But damage control winning that round brings things straight back into their favor. 14-11, and Nick, I think that's the first time we've seen damage control just completely throw caution to the wind here on the T side of Overpass and sort of just aggressively rush onto a bomb site. It's been very calculated and methodical up until this point.
I think they needed that change in pace. I mean, Mokhmat was pretty much caught off guard. There was Shizzy over towards Map, who was also caught off guard, only good for 1 of the AWP. And that change in pace worked really, really, really well. As you said, they caught the players. They just changed the pace. They just threw caution to the wind. They just ran in, and it worked perfectly fine. But Now you got to find success somewhere else. You know, the B bomb sites has been under question a couple times. The frags haven't really gone your way. You've gone down to a couple setups. So now if you're damage control, you've tried the fast play, it's worked. Are you going to go back to it? Or are you going to change it up again? All the things are going to be going through in the TS right now. But Style, he needs to start picking it up. I mean, he finished like 17 and 8, and now he's 19 and 11. Instance fragging. But on the Nibble Conspire side, Dagger, he's 7 and 19. Things not looking too great for him. So hopefully he has some sort of response late in the half when the going gets tough.
And he's the captain of the team, right? You got like an IGL captain split on the Conspire team, which is something we didn't talk much about. That Rogues is the IGL while Dagger's the captain, and normally your captain's your inspiration man, your hype man. So if he's struggling, he's gonna find it tough to sort of try and exude that type of energy. And we're gonna have a battle here in lowers right now with that smoke sort of separating the two forces. Wounded goes through while Explicit waits on the other side, but Wounded ends up losing his life. Instant pushing through Monster though is able to trade it. Dagger finally, he finds a kill and he continues to stay alive, so he's going to have more of an impact than he does. Great work by Dagger in this round. Explicit gets caught out, and this should be Nibble's round. It's Style left, 1 versus 2. He knows that Dagger's in the bomb side, and Dagger's low as well, as is Style as a result of those bullets. But it's going to be Style to win out the 1 versus 1. He needs to retrieve the bomb. And how much space does Mohamed give it? How much respect does he play out in this situation? Because he can just force the issue here. He won't know how low Style is, and Style's going to keep things simple. Just commit to this B bomb side. I thought he might try and get across to A, plants the bomb, and he's going straight to heaven right now. This fight just got a lot tougher for Mohamed to win. He knows that he's there, so it's not a secret. And there's a smoke. Oh, that's massive. That is absolutely huge. 100 HP for Mohamed as well. He's just going to stick this defuse. Style has to hit the 1 million shot on, and he does it straight away. First bullet into the brain as well. What a way to get it done. Oh my god, Style, you've just played this game way too much. Oh, wow, that was crazy.
And you can't fault Mohamed there, right? I mean, he did exactly what anyone would do. Just drop the smoke on the bomb, stick it, and then, oh my days, Style just, oh my goodness, that he's planted the bomb there 10 million times. He knows what's going on. He knows the spams. And that was a round where, again, Nibble Conspire found success early. They had a couple frags go their way.
I know.
They lost out in the 1v2, and it's just super, super rough. 15-11. Everyone's on Deagles besides the SMG on Mohamed and the AWP on Shizzy. So I want to see him get aggressive. I want to see him open the round, which we haven't actually seen from Shizzy at all with the AWP. We haven't seen him take aggressive picks, get these opening frags. We've seen the exact opposite from Style, and I mean, there's a reason why damage control are 15-11 up at the end of the day. So hopefully, for Nibble Conspire's sake, they can have some sort of a response, some sort of a way in which they can bring themselves back, make this map into overtime.
That was an opportunity for Shizzy to open up his account in the round and take down his opposite number, but it doesn't come through on the opposite side of the map though. Mohamed has found Wounded, and oh no, Shizzy missing a couple of frags there. You can't afford to do that with Style, because if you give him a second or third chance, he's absolutely going to be taking it. And off the back of that, they're trying to make their way in towards the A bomb side. Instant and Explicit working hand in hand will trade 1 for 1, but that's certainly going to be favoring the damage control lads right now as they secure the plant, or just about have secured the plant. And this is going to be a tough retake. Two Desert Eagles make that 1 Desert Eagle as an AK. Style continuing to have an impact, and he's positioned himself again to find the IGL. It's just Mohamed left, the one player who's been doing so much work for Nibble in this game to try and touch that 1 versus 3. Hits a disgusting shot onto Style to kick off the retake. Early molly onto the bomb. He won't mind that because he's still looking to try and force the fight. He's got a smoke, but no kit, Nick. That's a big factor right now to consider. Time is against him. Play is against him. Instant going to be swinging out. The transfer can't connect. Hellhound finds the all-important frag. 16-11 damage control. Get the job done. They win Nibble's map, and they're going to be going into Nuke with a 1-0 lead. My word.
Oh my days. And that was Nibble Conspire's map pick. I mean, we can say it as many times. We're pushing the narrative, and it's extremely important to think that if we wanted to see 3 maps, we both believe that Nibble Conspire had to have found success on theirs. And now it's going to be going into damage control's Nuke, where Nibble Conspire, things aren't looking great. It does seem like damage control, they just can't get their number. They just can't find success. They can't string rounds together. They had a couple of them on the T side, but then things just fell to pieces towards the end of the half. And you have one player who's firing on all cylinders. Mohamed Shizzy had a couple multi-frag rounds, but everyone's got to step up when it comes into Nuke. If there's a weakness on one side of the map, the T's can just constantly punish it. And if you can't find success on the T side, and running into sites when damage control is CT, you're going to have a real rough time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite an entertaining game throughout. Damage control were comfortably ahead. Sort of for the most part, like there were moments where it seemed like Nibble Conspire were going to be getting themselves back into it and then maybe bringing things back into even keel, but every time they had that one more round that they needed to win, that's when Damage Control got themselves back into it. And that's a testament to the amount of amounts of experience that these, and resilience and tenacity that these OGs have. They've been in these situations so many times and they don't crumble and falter when the going starts to get tough. That's actually when they take their game to the next level. So that's massive stuff from them. But we're going to be taking a short break. Before we take that break, let's open up the giveaway, Nick, for the 250 Rand Steam voucher. Keyword is Yoba. Get it in chat. I don't have to spell it for you, because if I do, then I'm pretty disappointed, to be fair. Just type it out once. If you type it in twice, it's going to discount your original entry. We're going to be taking a short break. When we return, we're going to have Nuke, do Nibble, Conspire have what it takes to fight themselves back into this and avoid being eliminated in this lower bracket round. Or are we going to be seeing them going home 2-0? Let's find out after the break. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Damage Control versus Nibble Conspire lower bracket matchup. We just came off the back of Overpass, where Damage Control emphatically won 16-11. It was Nibble Conspire's map pick as well. We're now shifting into Niix, which obviously is Damage Control's map pick, a map historically that they've been very strong on. And I can't say the same for Nibble, a map that we haven't really seen too much out of them. So Nick, all the signs are sort of pointing towards this being another 2-0 game here in the Evesports Season 2 EGL 1. Of course, we're hoping for a third map, but Damage Control and Niix go together like bread and butter.
I mean, everyone loves like a little bit of bread on butter, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, yeah, as you said, I feel like...
They love bread on butter?
That's what... do you see, you get the chunk of butter, and then you just put your bread on top. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? It's just like hot butter through a knife.
I'll take your word. I'll take your word for it.
But I mean, like, Nibble Conspire, what we were saying, what the narrative pretty much was is Damage Control have pretty much had their number every single time these teams have faced each other. Through previous tournaments, through previous matchups in the ESGL League, Damage Control have won them out pretty much every single time. So, coming into this best of 3, we were thinking, if Nibble Conspire want to even see 3 maps, let alone win the series, they had to have won Overpass. I mean, looking at their track record on against Damage Control, first of all, and looking at they don't really play Niix a lot, you think that all the fingers are pointing to Damage Control for a 2-0 victory right now.
Yeah, absolutely, which would mean that Nibble Conspire gets sent packing from the Evesports EGL 1 2021 main event. And I mean, what are we in? I should know this, but are we in round 1 of the lower bracket at the moment? Is this still round 1?
Yes, it is still round 1 of the low bracket.
Your answer was not super confident, which makes me feel better about myself.
It's definitely round 1.
Okay, cool.
Say anything with confidence and someone will believe you.
There we
go. Round 1
Nick,
of the low bracket, I promise.
Yeah, point being, nobody wants to be eliminated in round 1 of the lower brackets, and right now Nibble Conspire are on the cusp of that. Going into Niix, it's going to be a tough ask for them to try and challenge this Damage Control team. Niix is, as I said, historically a map they're very strong on. Of course, Niix has been around for ages in the Counter-Strike scene, and in every iteration of the game, and the map Damage Control have been strong on it. So they're just so familiar with what it takes here to run the protocols on the map, both T side and CT side. They know this map inside from outside. And yeah, there's been, you know, a few minor changes to the map, but nothing that they haven't seen before and haven't been able to adjust to already. So it's going to have to be a well-fought victory for Nibble Conspire if they are going to be competitive here on Niix and take this game to a third map. And that means we would have to see what is Mirage the third map. I need to scroll so far up this Discord group. Inferno. Oh, that still spells trouble, right? Because Damage Control are just so comfortable on Inferno as well.
Yeah, I'm on Nibble Conspire's ESA match page right now, and I was looking to see if they've had played Niix at all, and the answer is no.
Yeah?
So clearly it's one of those maps. Obviously, the way vetoes work is you ban 3, the opponent bans 3, and you see what's left over. Something like that, and randomized with the last maps. But I mean, clearly Nibble Conspire aren't super confident in Niix, but maybe they can turn things around, and maybe they can take this to 3 maps. It would be pretty much an upset if it is, but maybe they've got what it takes.
Gonna have to wait and find out, guys. Just before we start, or maybe I'll hold on to that point, as DC, they're straight into the safe bomb site. In fact, not a single drop of blood has been spilled. Still 100 HP on everybody right now. Conspire playing retake on the safe sites, and that's exactly what they're gonna have to do if they're gonna win this pistol round. And they're gonna want to get off to a good start here on Niix to try and put the previous demons to bed from Overpass. And winning the pistol round would do exactly that. Dagger gets decapitated. Style able to pivot now 90 degrees towards mouth. Great flashes means that all the players are blind. And all of the frags go in the way of Damage Control. In fact, not a single player will fall in the round. And that's not an ideal start for Conspire. But guys, just a little bit of bad news. Unfortunately, Google is doing very bad things to the bed right now. We're gonna have to clean the bed up after what they've done to the bed, because there's a big outage right now, which means we're not able to run our giveaway. So sorry about that, guys. We'll do 2 giveaways on Tuesday to make up for it. We'll do a shirt and a 250 rand Steam voucher. But unfortunately, tonight, we don't have either of those for you. So you're just going to have to hang around for the Counter-Strike. Oh, man. As if that wasn't good enough already.
Yeah, what I just realized that this was a buy from Nibble Conspire. They forced up. They were attempting a lobby crunch. Rogues has got 2 frags. So, I mean, it could get turned around, but it does look like Hellhound just has the jump. And that was a force from Nibble Conspire, as I said. So now you're going to have to eco coming into the next. So it does look like Damage Control are going to have a decent 3-0 start, all things considered, if they do win this round. Obviously, Nuke is one of those maps where you can buy 5 nades of CT, try nade outside, try get some nade stacks going. Lobby crunches, as we said, with the inferior buys, play fast on CT, see what can happen. But pretty much Nuke is one of those maps where if you have the protocols and the rotations down for, if X happens, you have to respond with Y. If your protocols are down, you'll have a pretty successful time on the CT side. So it's all the question of whether Nibble Conspire have got the protocols down, and if they do, maybe they can make this as competitive as possible.
100% Nick. The CT side is all about protocols. I couldn't agree with you more, man. And it's one of those maps that you can't hesitate once you do commit, because if you sort of wait before you rotate, oh, nice shot there, Mohamed. If you wait before you commit to the rotation, you're already too late. So everybody has to be on the exact same page as one another and know what sort of response needs to be brought in when what sort of situation ends up playing out. And oh no, Mochi, you hit the previous shot and then you missed that one? Surely not.
Yeah, I agree with you.
7-1 for explicit, by the way. But
you can't hesitate at all. If they take outside, you have no information, and you lobby crunch, you have to lobby crunch as soon as possible, and the synergy has to be there. Obviously, who takes contact is up to have you play it. But another example is when the outside smokes come in, who drops, and when they do drop, how fast do they drop? Because obviously, there's nothing worse than dropping into a molly when the T's already down. They're molly advantage, dropping into molly, getting shot, you die. No one's at the B bomb site. You're saving. You don't want that to happen if you're Nibble Conspire or any CT side at that. But damage control, as you said, they really sound on this map. They really got everything down. They played it for ages and ages. So Nibble Conspire coming into the second map as extreme underdogs.
Big gun round here for Nibble to make a statement on the CT side. And Evan's going to be opening up his account. That's a big pick as well, because it takes... Oh no, Shizzy. I was going to say it takes attention away from Shizzy, who had the AWP towards Secret, but he burns out. It looked like he was just jumping around trying to get out of the fire, and he wasn't able to do it quickly enough. Man needs to get back in the KZ server. And Inston's going to trade up for the AWP. 55 seconds left here. Plenty of options still available for damage control, as most of their numbers are outside. They know that Ivan is cooped up in the corner here as well. But it doesn't look like they're going to be actively pursuing him. In fact, it's Explicit who seems like he's going to have a job to do here as he's being flanked. Is he going to realize in time? He does! Oh man, the Spidey senses tingle and they're on point. Surely he doesn't expect the second player, Rogues, in the corner right now. Explicit's going to come around and does actually get taken down, but he's already done a good job getting information and finding a kill to at least keep the numbers even. Now, damage control shift their attention towards this B bomb site. Mohamed playing behind the silo on the rafters. He's going to be the key in the round, and he denies the plant. Hellhound not expecting that at all. Rogues has been able to rotate as well, but Style and Instant both find a quick frag. Each and Instant with the AWP as he drops down from the ledge will take down Rogues. Oh, when you're in Rogues' position, you think you get that frag every day of the week, Nick.
Thought that was Nibble Conspire's round. As soon as Mohamed denied the bomb plant, he knew that the other player was towards control because he shot the glass. He threw the smoke. He should have known that was the case. But that was a sick 2v3 coming out from damage control. 6 shots from Style, and the individual play is just going to carry them through 4 rounds of that response now for Nibble Conspire. So it's not panic stations just yet. You have lost the first buy round, which isn't going to look too great on the resume, but you can respond just as fast as you were nailed to the ground. Rogues is going to open up this round. He's going to upgrade to that AK and get out. The Explicit's going to respond from the overextension from Shizzy, and it does look like damage control. Okay, Ivan, he's got the scout, so maybe Nibble Conspire favorites to win this round instead.
I mean, this is just great economic damage at the bare minimum that they're pulling out right now. Lots of damage has been done in the process of them finding these kills. I mean, you can see Mohamed, Rogues, and Ivan barely make 100 HP between the 3 of them. Don't even think they do. So, damage control still have plenty of opportunities in this round. Style with the AWP holding the angle. How much discipline does Ivan have is the question. And it's going to be another frag. Rogues with the AK picks up a kill. But he's got more of a job to do than just that lone frag, and Hellhound, or rather Style, has found the kill into Ivan, so that brings things back into the 2 versus 2. Style with the AWP, looking for Rogues, but Rogues positioning himself very nicely around the bomb site right now. And now he recognizes he just has to stay alive, but he's not going to be able to do that for much longer as Explicit takes him down. Where's the bomb right now? Outside by mouth. In fact, no, it's down the vent. It's down the vent. He doesn't realize now the information comes through to him. He has to retrieve it, and he's going to actually commit to the A site. Oh my god, 15
What's going
seconds. Mohammad just misses the shot. Now Explicit realizes he has to commit to this B bomb side. Does Mohammad commit or does he just try and fake? Explicit taps the bomb. He comes around the corner and Explicit with balls of steel takes the fight, finds the kill, and secures the round for his team.
Oh my goodness, grandpa movements is what Explicit says in chat.
At least he said it and not us, Nick.
Exactly. Things just going his way. I mean, he didn't realize the bomb was down the vent. He faked the drop down. He went back up. Mohammad spotted him out, 3 HP, and he wins the round. Sick coming out from damage control, and they win another important round. There was not a full eco, but it was an eco come out from Conspire. So, as you said, economical damage, all things considered. However, when things start getting tough, you got to get the rounds on the board. Ivan,
oh no,
that's a bad gunfight to lose. Really poor, poor shots coming out from Ivan that round.
And that's problematic because he's the outside player. They've relinquished full control off the back of that. And this is what damage control do so well. They become very unpredictable. They love using outside. They'll constantly shift between wrapping around through CT or wrapping through mouth or dropping through secrets. So it's actually very tough to get a read on what they're going to be doing with that sort of control. And Mohammad's in position right now, who's just getting that information fed through to his team. But you can see damage control, they're not making any commitments. They're keeping all their options open right now. Even if they send some feelers towards secret, they're not necessarily going to be committing. And they hold all the aces. Big kill there by Mohammad.
That's exactly what I'm about to say.
Further back. Yeah.
He's going to have a real tough time, though. He knows he's going to get pinched from both positions, so... He hasn't got some help from Shizzy rotating down the ramp who can hold one avenue.
Check it number 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
He could be the key in the round right now, and you can see damage control just trying to give him time before they commit to this bomb site. He's relaying this information. He spotted Shizzy out. He's going to take that kill immediately. Now they surge in towards the site. Mohammad, he's in no man's land, and he's actually able to respond in time. He even gets another kill onto Style. Massive work there from Mohammad. So he does the heavy lifting to keep his team in a decent position. Dagger going to be coming from ramp. Wants to try and catch Explicit, still cooped up in the bomb site, but now they know he's there. And Instance taking down Rogues. It's disaster for Conspire all over again. Dagger has to clutch it out. He's got a molly, but he's not going to have a chance to use it. Explicit continues his good run here on Nuke, and damage control win another gun round. And Nick, I was going to say at the start of round 5-0, not the end of the world, but it just means that follow-up gun round is ever so important, and it goes awry once again for Conspire, and this is where the half can really start to get out of your control.
Yeah, this is where things can start just spiraling downwards. You're staring 7 at the face. You know, you've got 4 Deagles, 1 Scout. Hopefully, Ivan and the boys can get something done for Nibble Conspire's sake so they can wrestle this half back. If you're Conspire, you want oh, nice frag from Mohammad. That's a good start to the round. I was about to say, CT side, sort of 9-6 is worst case scenario. You know, you can't be giving up more than 6 rounds. Style's going to get the response, a bit of an overextension from Ivan, all things considered.
Yeah.
But CT side, 9-6 up is sort of worst case scenario. The map is so CT oriented, but as soon as you concede those 7 rounds and you start to actually go into the second half as a deficit in the T side, you're going to have a really, really, really tough time. And one thing I want to point out is on Overpass, we were speaking about Instant and Styles' great start. You know, they had a really solid start to the CT side. And now it just shows that damage control, they don't have any weak points. Now Explicit is firing off on the T side, 15-2. Shizzy's going to try to wrestle things back, but... Ooh, missed nade. 7 HP.
Yeah, they're recognizing they don't need to give him any further opportunities here. I've seen quite a few questions about damage control in chat, so I'm going to just actually give a short history lesson. I assume Shizzy's going to save this, but he's got a lot of cash, so I mean... Maybe he can have a crack. 7 points of health means it's going to be a very tough clutch for him to try and come to terms with. And there we go. So firstly, Matthew Blake, I saw he didn't really recognize the names, and that's understandable. I mean, if you just only joined the Counter-Strike scene in the past 2 to 3 years, you wouldn't have seen much of damage control. But these are literally the living legends of the South African Counter-Strike scene. They've been competing since 2005. They were actually the first team to go overseas for South African Counter-Strike. I don't know if it was South African esports overall, but definitely for Counter-Strike. And they've been overseas 8 times, guys. 8 different times. More so than any other organization in South Africa. Before the BVDs, the ENs, the Goliaths, before all these teams were going overseas to compete, they paved the way. They were doing it first and foremost. And now they're paving the way into the A bomb side. Again, it's a change up, Nick. This time it's through mouth. And they're not hanging around once they take outside control. They're shifting aggressively to try and capitalize on it. Though Rogues and Shizzy able to find some quick frags, which has brought things heavily back into Conspire's favor. It's just instant left, and he lands a fantastic no-scope to follow up the shot onto Shizzy, bringing things back into a 1 versus 2. And there's so much time left on the clock here that this round can really start to play out as the way the instant turn chooses.
Oh
God, he catches Mochmat.
Time.
Bad communication though from Rogues and Mochmat. They just seem to be having very different ideas there. And Instant trades up for the M4. He's got a health advantage as well. Nick, this was a 1 versus 4 and he was completely surrounded. Somehow he's been able to convert this into a very winnable position.
The timing.
And Rogues just misses the timing as well. Everything going Instant's way right now.
There's no way Rogues expects him in heaven, right?
I mean, he has to consider it. Surely he considers that he could have wrapped towards heaven. It could have been towards T-spawn or heaven. Like, those are the 50-50. And Instant has to drop down here and give some audio cues away. So Rogues, he's going to be hearing him drop, and this should be an easy win for him. Instant has no idea where Rogues is right now, and I love that he plays the timing on the peak, and he finds the kill, Conspire on the board.
Finally, right? And to the wire on such a pivotal gun round if you're Nibble Conspire. The money's still in the absolute dumps. But one thing that happened last round is Instant didn't have a gun. He had a Glock.
Yeah.
He didn't actually buy up, so he was one of the players running in who couldn't trade his teammate because he had a Glock. Which is super
I didn't even
rough.
notice that. I just want to use this to finish off the points I was making. Ghost Gaming. So actually, it's not, unfortunately, and sadly and tragically, it's not the same core 5 or the same lineup as it was in the old days because, as I say, tragically, Apocalypse passed away in 2017. And since then, the team actually took an elongated break from competing, and they've gotten back into things now, which I just think is the most amazing way to honor Apocalypse as well, to keep the legend living on. And as long as the Damage Control name lives on in esports, Apocalypse will live on in South African esports as well. So it's just great to have them competing and being a part of the space and constantly growing the scene as well and pushing new and up and coming teams and individuals and just being leaders in the space and inspirations for all the players who are coming through the ranks as well. So no, it's not the same 5, but it is the core 4, and Wounded's joined the team as well, and they're still making waves.
I mean, 7-1 up on the T side. Looks like it's going to be 7-2. But I think it always shows testament to Damage Control, and they just love the game, and they came back in all respect, and Wounded joined the team, and things are still looking great for them. So they still, as you said, they pushed Augless Cutter, or nowadays WRG, to the wire. They still got it in. They still got it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. And just by the way, I think I said 2017. I meant 2018 was the year that he unfortunately passed away. So since then, it was a long break for DC, but they've still got it, Nick, and they're showing that they've got so much form. They've still got so much to give to the scene, and it's so good to have them a part of the scene because, like I said, they continue to push new and up and coming teams, and they were always regarded as the gatekeepers. And hey, I mean, when I saw them starting to play again, I actually thought that they were probably going to get like pretty wrecked, but they've really shown that they still have what it takes to compete, man.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's kind of interesting nowadays where you speak about everyone in South Africa. We've seen a couple teams have errors, if you will, you know, ATK right now where they've absolutely demolished everyone. Bravado back in the day before they moved overseas, but Damage Control is always in that conversation, right? I mean, they've been together for so long. They were the top of the tier for so long. Wounded is gonna take out Shizzy. Oh my, dude, like,
you're not allowed to do that. CZ says.
Pocket AK.
Actually finds the second as well, and he upgrades to the M4. So all of a sudden, pretty much the easiest round that that Conspire have had so far in the half is actually looking like it might betray them. Explicit finds another dagger, able to find the backstab onto Style, but that's a little consolation right now. Mohamed also making his way through ramp, but Dagger's exposed. He doesn't know the threat that is Inson. And now it's on Mohamed to clutch 1 versus 3. He's going to open up his account onto Explicit, so they now know where he is. How do they react to that information? It looks like immediately Inson is taking that bomb down towards the B site.
Ooh, Mohamed's got the read though, I think. He's cleared out A, he's dropped down the vent, but he's been spotted and Ensign has fragged him. Oh. Nibble Conspire.
Swat, so the cutter became Harsies. Yes, that's exactly. From Orgless cutter, they became Orged Harsies, basically. That's
actually the rebrand that White Rabbit Gaming's been waiting for.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm kidding.
8-2, yeah, Conspire investing everything they've got into the round once again. Nick, this is where the half could really start to run away from them if they lose this. You're already talking about how you don't really want to be conceding more than 6 rounds on the CT side. Well, they're already down 8. And of course, they're going to be throwing the conventional sort of ideologies of the CT side out of the window now because the situation has already gotten away from them. Now, I don't think they can afford to sort of be under 6 rounds going into that second half. And that's already looking like it's going to be tough because if they lose this, it's eco and it's already 9-2. So big run here. Even though they're a man down, they have to find a way to fight through this.
Explicit crosshair placement was on point. And now Style understands that the reaggression towards outside has to come in because obviously Nibble Conspire need information. He sticks around and out to 5v2. And last round was the easiest round they had a shot at making a comeback. And now the gun rounds aren't going to go their way, but I'm going to hold my breath because Rogues and Shizzy have got a quick 2 frags between the two of them. So now it's going to be a 3v2. Bomb's going to get planted pretty safe. So Nibble Conspire, they can actually win this round if the frags go their way. All things considered. Kit on Rogues, double door's been open.
2K21. Sorry. Continue.
I don't get the reference in all honesty.
I'll give it to you after.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay.
Rogues looking to try and make a moment of this one. He finds the first, but that's all it's going to be. No, you just said Nibble Conspire can. You said they can win the round if they get the frags. So I was like, that's something Nostradamus would have said. Actually, sorry, bad joke. Poor taste.
You know, it's
2-9.
The old Counter-Strike philosophers, bro. You just. You know, just the way it is.
Just frag.
Yeah, exactly. Swing outside.
The eco here for Conspire. Style looking to try and add a few more to his tally here. 2-9. I mean, this eco round, even though it's a tough ask, has to have some sort of an impact in the longer scheme here for Conspire. They're at least doing some economic damage, maybe if they can find another kill here. But this is just all damage control right now. Conspire looking lost at sea. You can see we're talking about those protocols at the start of the map, Nick, and those protocols just don't seem to be in place. And that's like the CT side can just look so messy whenever one small thing goes wrong. It's just like everything transcends into madness because nobody knows what their exact role is, what exactly they're supposed to be watching and covering, where they're supposed to be rotating to, what sort of gaps have been left open, and all those small finite details have had large effects on the outcome of the game up until this point.
Yeah, it is interesting that you say that. I want to allude to a specific point you made with players rotating in specific because everyone has a different way of playing Nuke, which is perfectly obviously every team has a different style. No pun intended. Yeah. There's only one style in our scene, but I mean, yeah, every team has a different style. So obviously on Nuke, some teams like to lean towards the ramp player rotating, and you have the hull player rotating towards ramp. Some teams like having the top pad player rotating down the vent. Some teams like the mouth player to rotate. A whole bunch of different ways. None of them are incorrect. It all just depends how you shift your setup. Obviously, you always have 5 players starting on the top sites. Obviously, you're not going to have one player running downstairs right away unless he's going towards Secret, which is a different matter. But you always have 5 players towards the top side of the map at the start. And when the player drops, how's your setup going to shift? How are you going to change the setup so that you're still strong towards all facets of the map, right? Are you strong towards A, towards outside, towards ramp, etc.? But 100%. If you don't have the shift of setup and you just, for example, this is going to be a gross exaggeration, but if you're one of the teams that likes to rotate the ramp player and you leave ramp vacant, obviously it doesn't make sense, right? But that's all for every single other rotation. If you're the top HUD player rotating, How are you going to shift your setup towards A to strengthen that? Are you going to play retake? Are you going to play heavy towards A? It's all the sort of things that play into how the map plays, and that's why I'm such a big fan of Nuke, because it's extremely simple if you know how to play it. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Know how to play it, and you can be absolutely top class in the map. But if you don't, you can be punished. And looks like damage control, 10-2, they're looking polished. They look like they know what's cracking.
Yeah. Yeah, but you make some seriously good points there, Nick. I couldn't agree with your narrative more there. The CT side's all about those small details, and quite often on CT sides in CS, like, you all have your own set role that you just have to achieve. It's not like a very team coordinated performance. You know, that's normally the T side where there's way more team coordination. I feel like Nuke is one of those CT sides where everybody has to be very well coordinated, and right now Even's been taken down, so again, that's going to be creating a big gap towards outside.
Yeah, now you've lost your outside player. Now one of your players has dropped up the B bomb site. So now Nibble Conspire's response should be to crunch lobby, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting this information towards inside. They can possibly get a frag onto Explicit. Explicit seems to have no idea that Rogues has actually got behind enemy lines, but Explicit's still going to frag him. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This guy's on point today, man. He's got his third eye is just seeing through walls right now. Seeing behind him. Seeing everything. The all-seeing eye.
Senses. Yeah, I mean, got everything going for him right now. Damage control just feeling it. Not a single,
they absolutely
I
are.
was about to say not a single player negative, but wounded and hellhound. But I mean, you got explicit instant fragging, so I mean.
What do they do from here? Are they going to go back up? It looks like they are. They're going back up towards the A bomb side, and Dagger with the big job to do is not going to be able to even find a single frag. Instant just leading the charger with the entries, firing off the shots, announcing his presence into the bomb site. And Explicit takes on Shizzy as well. So that's 20 kills in 13 rounds for Explicit. He's had a lights out half here. And you don't really normally associate very heavy individual performances with the T side. But what? They didn't plant in time, Nick. They never planted in time. And Nibble Conspire win the round. What just happened? That's the easiest 1 versus 3 Mohammed's ever had in his life, Nick.
That's player of the match so far. You know? Easy peasy.
Oh,
Monitor switched off when he had the bomb. Oh no, that's so rough. That's so
where you just press 5 and spam G, bruv. Just drop that bomb. Drop it like it's hot, love. Come on.
That's just on Lushko, all things considered.
That is.
That was their round. That was 11-2.
That could have been like burying the game type of round. 10-3. This half is alive for Conspire. They've been gifted a gift. What? I don't even know, but I went with it anyway. Wounded's monitor, hopefully on this time around, is going to come around the corner and be met by Ivan. Oh, the timing. Not there for either player just yet, but Conspire have been gifted a fantastic opportunity here. If they can make this a 10-5 half, they'll feel like they have the bare minimum to try and make something happen on the T side.
It's going to be outside. That's going to be a question again. A portion of the map where damage control have had such success with, and again, Ivan's been the first to fall, and a gap in the outside smokes just means that Shizzy is going to lead to his demise. Rogues has got all this information inside with the fragment towards Explicit, but now it's going to be the B bomb side and a question. Mohammed's going to be the player who's going to have to be the first responder, and he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Dagger is going to be close in response. So all things considered, the rotates are on points, and it means damage control could have a tough time on this B bomb site.
Oh, Style, does he clear Dagger out here? Does he have enough angle to work with? He's going to hear the shots, so he's able to get the kill. He hasn't spotted Mohammad on the rafters, mate. Someone's given him the call, though. Mohammad still wins the battle, but he doesn't win the war. And now it's Rogues left in a 1 versus 2 clutch. Big clutch out for the EGL. Big opportunity for him to try and take the responsibility on his own shoulders. He knows where both of the remaining players are. He's got a smoke and 2 flashes as well. Catches Wounded off on the angle, and life has become very tough for Hellhound now. Especially since he's been smoked off.
He's got a Molotov.
Rogues, what does he do from this position? There is a Molotov on Hellhound. There's no kit though on Rogues. Oh no, Hellhound. He sprays through the smoke. He doesn't think that he's sticking this. The 10-second defuse is going to come through. And Nibble Conspire again making something big happen. This is crazy. I mean, from the monitor switching off to now the 1 versus 2 going their way. They're alive and kicking, but only just.
Yeah, I mean, Nibble Conspire aren't going to look a gift horse in their mouth. They'll take any sort of round that they can get. They get 2 rounds pretty much robbed away from damage control. Sick lower hold coming out from Dagger and Mokhmat initially, and then a 1v2 to clutch it out from Rogues, all things considered. And again, it's going to be outside of the question. Explicit's going to hold for this inner aggro, which Nibble Conspire have found so much success with. So again, Nibble Conspire, it feels like you're playing every round 4v5.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, it feels like they've lost the opening pick in nearly every single round, and this time Shizzy and Even are going to stand tall outside. Rogues is getting a bunch of audio information here as well in the lobby. And is he going to be catching the player off ramp? He does. Style gets rounded on. And that's a 4 versus 2 now for Conspire to try and drive this round home. They need to keep fighting here on Nuke if they're going to be taking us to Inferno. Otherwise, they're going to be eliminated from EGL 1 Season 2 right here, right now on Nuke. It will be the end of their road. And who's going to be ending up with this round in the last round of the half? Still some time to work with here for damage control. And in fact, Conspire are very vulnerable to a wrap through heaven. They don't have anybody to immediately sort of deal with it. Yes, Mokhmat's holding an angle, but it's not like it's a very strong angle. And in fact, I feel that Shizzy's actually vulnerable to the angle before Mokhmat can even do anything about it. So this is a big moment. Inson has to come good with at least 1 kill here. Coming around the corner, he hasn't spotted Shizzy. He's spotted Mokhmat out, but Mokhmat quicker on the trigger will find the kill. And there's no way as Explicit expects Shizzy to be in the corner. In fact, Explicit's just going to drop straight down. Rogues drops the smoke to deny him. And now he's being rounded on as well by Shizzy. There's actually a chance here for Explicit to get up into the safe side, by the way. He's recognized it as well, but the boomer movement might just deny him. He's going to drop his smoke. He wants to get around, and he doesn't have enough time. He hasn't left himself enough time. Oh, the grandpa movement costs him. I'm quoting him as well on that. So
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's super unlucky, because over rotations coming out from Shizzy, it looks like he was a deer caught in the headlights, didn't really know what he wanted to do. Did he want to stay up, or did he want to go lower? Then he overcommitted. Explicit had the read, and he just didn't click 5 fast enough, and then ultimately clicking. That's actually a good question. What do you plant the bomb with? Do you plant the bomb by pressing E or mouse 1?
It should be E. But
when I said I planted with E, everyone was like, oh, how do you plant with E? Everyone plants with mouse 1.
Yeah, no, planting with E is because it plants immediately as you get into the plant zone, and the zone right now is towards ramp as Conspire are charging it down, trying to find Inson, who's frantically tapping away. He gets overwhelmed. First blood drawn by Conspire, and Mokhmat's already holding the flank where Hellhound is going to be positioning himself, and Hellhound actually wins out that fight. The bomb gets planted. Damage control are in position. Oh my god, a flurry of frags goes the way of DC. Shizzy answers with 2 of his own, make it a 3rd. Hellhound finds a pick. He only needs to land 1 more bullet to close up this round for his team. Shizzy tapping away with the Glock is gonna win it out, and wow, what a massive round. That's an ace for him in the pistol to keep Nibble's hopes and dreams alive.
How's it, Oaks? My name is Shizzy, and I'm getting 5 kills in the pistol round. So that Nibble Conspire can have some sort of a fight back in this round. I mean, 1 player staying alive and damage control are going to full force back into this. And again, even though you've got 6 rounds if you're Nibble Conspire, it's still an uphill battle, right? We spoke about the importance of how many rounds you get on CT. Damage control, they've effectively got a 10-round head start on the CT side. If they can win the first buy round, if they can win this and this force back, then surely Nibble Conspire are going to be in the ground. But I mean, AK has actually been dropped over to Mokhmat. That shows the trust that Nibble Conspire have in him. He's got a full belt utility along with it, and he's got to be the danger man coming into the latter stages of this map. Yeah,
absolutely. Gonna have to be a well-rounded team performance. Certainly not going to be getting across the line with just Mokhmat popping off, but he is going to be the mantelpiece, the centerpiece. And let's see what Conspire do in this round. Looks like they're going to keep things stupid simple as they just push straight in towards the A bomb site, rushing forward. Explicit finds 1. Hellhound from heaven. He's going to find 1 as well. Wound is also in the vicinity, by the way, but he will go down. So it's a 2 versus 2. Very messy right now for Conspire, but still they have the advantage just because of the weaponry. Oh my god, Instant comes out of heaven, and now Rogues has to clutch. He doesn't realize he's in down. He runs out of ammo. Style tapping away with the Desert Eagle's going to find the kill. The damage control have done it. Oh my god, Conspire. I mean, Nick, it looked fine. I mean, normally we don't advocate for teams just rushing in those anti-eco or anti-force fire rounds. It looked okay. I mean, A-side nuke is one of those times that you can bring that out, but when you're so far behind the game, surely you want to play the percentages, bruv. Play the percentages.
Oh, like, oh, that's super
Don't have
rough
to
if you're
rush.
Nibble Conspire. And then not only that, but then Rogues isn't covering Heaven, even though I think the Molly missed. Oh, they're gonna drop. Okay, wounded. How's it my Oaks, my name now one
Oh,
tap Oaks is my
farming.
battle scarred USBS new because I'm cool.
Just call him Farmer Wounded, boy.
But I think the
But yeah,
Heaven
that was
Mollo
so rough.
missed. I think the Heaven Mollo missed on the because obviously the way it is up towards Heaven, the Mollo can land in the gap by the ladder, and you can hear it explode. So I did think it missed, and then surely Rogues thinks he should hold Heaven, and then the player just W keys out Heaven, denies the bomb plants, and then Style wins out the 1v1. So, and then this round.
But that was even like right at the end, right? That was still like before the crazy flurry of the rushing through Squeaky. I know you've got the whole exec set up and all the flashes were on point, but it's just such a high risk strategy to bring out straight in your first anti-eco / anti-force. You've just won the pistol, you're trying to make a comeback. And again, you have different schools of thoughts and all the rest, so you can't just say that there is only one right way. But for me, I play the percentages in those sort of situations. I play the safe game, and anti-eco and Dagger, nothing safe about this approach. Charging in towards ramp, trying to isolate the player, and Instant, he's going to get taken down without finding a kill. Hellhound, the first responder, he receives the same treatment, and although they're able to find some damage down onto Shizzy and Dagger, there's still a two-man advantage here for Conspire. Wounded the next responder. He's going to get overwhelmed. Here's one, no, he finds two. Explicit finds one as well, and it's happening again. Nibble Conspire just constantly finding themselves on the end of bad luck. Man, oh man, how do damage control keep on doing it, Nick?
Super rough. They're gonna have the high HP player go first into the gun battle and then try the low HP player trade. Dagger was on 6 HP and he's meant to trade his teammates. They have a real tough time, but I mean, speaking about low, Wounded's on 4 HP, Rogues can't win out the gunfight with Style.
This is so aggressive from Conspire on their T side. Rushing at A site, rushing ramp through the smokes, charging through the... Even if you get the frags on the ramp players, it's 5v3, lads. You don't have to just keep on charging. You hold that control, you force the rotations, you double back. A site's probably completely vacant. It's just... It's looking a bit short-sighted from Conspire, but that tends to happen when you're so far behind, Nick, because you're so compelled to just try and win it out, and Dagger just continues to find themselves in ill-forwarded situations or unlucky positions, but Conspire, they just need to take a deep breath here, Nick.
One thing I noticed last round is all the players opted for AKs rather than utility, right? I think there was maybe one player or two players with the smoke, and if you think about Nuke as a whole, it's all about outside smokes. Oh, great shot from Mohamed. You think about outside smokes, denying information. Are you going to drop down? We spoke about this a while ago. When you throw the outside smokes, the first time you can go down with them. The second time you can hit the A sites. It's all about conditioning, you know. You don't know what they're going to do. Absolutely. But if you don't buy that utility, you can't make the CTs double guess of where you're going to go. And, I mean, that round, they just threw caution to the wind, rushed ramp. The trades didn't go their way. Lobby crunch from Wounded. He's actually going to drop the bomb. He's close to get the trade, which is super important. Now, Hellhound and Ensign in the 2v3.
Ensign doesn't realize that Mohamed's also gotten towards Secret, by the way, so he could just get caught. He could just purely get caught off by the angle or the timing. Could go either way, though. Mohamed lands that first bullet headshot. Now it's on Hellhound, 1v3 for him. He knows there's a player coming from Mouth, but even though he gets the first kill, doesn't expect Shizzy to be coming from Hut as well. Conspire winning a very fortunate round, and a round that keeps him in the huncher. But lads, this is the round you just need to take a deep breath and slow things down. You got all the advantages in the way of weaponry and util. Try and drive that home. Bleed the util on DC before you make any commitments.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Just, you know they don't have a good buy. You know they don't have a lot of utility, and this is what I like from them. They're throwing the outside smokes. They're doing it fast. Explicit. He's got behind enemy lines. He's going to be good for one, and he goes 1 for 1. Ivan going to get the trade. Massive gap in the outside smoke. I hope that's because there was a molly there. I hope for my sake that is the case. Dagger's
Let's just believe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
4v3. This should be... I was about to say this should be Conspire's round, but Instant just gets a double frag. What is going on?
It just keeps on happening time and time again, man. Damage control, they just seem to have this way somehow. What the FAMAS? Somebody clip that and send it to Lately, add him on Twitter, and show him what Instant can do with the weapon. And he's done, surely. Surely he's just like even rattling off nonchalant shots at this point. And Dagger, well, he wants to have a crack at this, and why wouldn't he? 11 points of health. Problem is, Inson's gotten out of there. He's hightailed it to cover. Dagger's got the bomb, and he's got time. And that A bomb site's also completely open, by the way. So if he goes back up the vent, up the ladder, did he spot? He did. He spotted Inson out. And Inson's low, and Inson's vulnerable. He's got no support. Styles rotated. Dagger's playing this to perfection right now, and he's going to be catching Inson off. So this 1 versus 3's turned into a 1v1. Problem is he's not at all aware of Styles' position. So that extra bit of hesitation has actually given Style a bit of time to get closer here and put himself in position to make the retake happen. Dagger nestles himself in the corner. In fact, he's going to get up on the rafters. Very nice position to work with. So especially considering that Style's going to be coming from the double doors, which is where Dagger's watching right now. But Style, he gets the clutch, and that's heartbreaking for Nibble Conspire.
I was going to comment on... It's so interesting that only one part of the door blew open from that nade. Because 3 frags effectively came from that. I mean, if you think about Dagger peeking towards the rafters, he was able to see the feet because only the one side of the door was open. And Wounded was able to get that frag because it's a right eye peek. Usually, Dagger holding the angle. If the other side of the door's open, you see his feet all day of the week. So it's pretty much the one door only being blown off was actually a massive fact in that round. And ultimately, Dagger couldn't win out that 1v3, which means Nibble's backs are against the wall once more. In a 7-14 score deficit, 7 rounds in favor of damage control. And on the CT side, Styles got that up. We speak about it all the time.
Oh, no.
What happened?
He missed a shot, like a really, not really easy, but a shot that he normally lands onto Mohamed. And that's the heavy hitter as well for Conspire. So, missed opportunity. 7-14 must-win round for Conspire, even though they've got a bit of round loss bonus behind them. That's not going to be what's on their mind right now. They have to start winning rounds here on the T side to make something happen in Style. Being dynamic, being versatile, maneuvering himself around the outside area, being an absolute nuisance right now. And he finds the opening pick. And that sort of stunted things here for Conspire.
I think Rogues has probably been that silent servant for Nibble Conspire. He's had a pretty decent series, all things considered. He's been the danger man on Nuke. Dagger and Ivan again falling too far behind. Shizzy's actually going to take down Ensign, who's actually been the danger man for the enemies. Explicit still on 27 frags. Hellhound, he's going to take down Dagger. Now it's a 4v3, still man advantage, all things considered. Rogues, the aforementioned, he's going to take down Hellhound, which is going to allow this acceleration to this A side to come in. But he's alone. He's got the bomb, and that's been fallen. So now, just like that, it's Shizzy and Ivan in a 2v2. 10 seconds left on the clock. DC have got 15 rounds.
Yeah, man, I was watching the skirmish towards heaven, and Wounded is just going to add insult to injury here. Shizzy's going to charge forward and die as well. 15-7. I was watching the skirmish that was going on in hell. It was Style going up against the 2 players pushing through ramp there, and he was just trying to buy time as well. Man, oh man, what an unfortunate series of events right now. Somebody call Limini Snickets, because he's certainly present in this server. No?
No, no idea who that is again.
That's cool, that's fine, that's fine. That's okay.
Gen
we were
Z,
never meant to be anyway. Conspire must win, Nick. They need to win 8 rounds in a row to force overtime, or they're going to be eliminated. And Explicit, fittingly, seems like he's going to be the one to put the final nail in the coffin if it's not already in. 3 versus 4. Oh, man. The writing's on the wall.
Dude.
29 frags. Nearly as many kills as he has years under his belt.
Fair.
Right, I'll stop. It's just too easy, man. They're my friends as well, so that gives me a bit of extra license. Big moment here towards ramp as Shizzy starts edging his way forward, and in fact, this time round, Inson's not going to have any of it. As soon as there's any presence shown, he starts backing up into the B-bomb site, recognizing there's an advantage already. Damage Control have that one-man lead. They don't have to try and take any unnecessary fights at this point. They're just prioritizing the bomb sites. And Mohamed, he's actually worked his way down secret. I don't think that Inston's at all aware of this right now, by the way. I think Inston's about to get caught off here by Mohamed. So that's going to be prompting the hit to come through. And Mohamed, with the trigger discipline, doesn't need to find any further opportunities. Takes the kill. And now we're going to have a 3 versus 3 post-plant.
Yeah, the kit is on Style. And Style, speaking of, he's going to win the first gunfight over towards Shizzy and doesn't overextend, which is important considering he could open these doors and Dagger has no idea where to plant. He's been shot in the back and now
style. Man, oh man, just fantastic discipline as well, Nick. Even though they're ahead 15-7, even though he knows the players on the other side of the door and he's tapped the plant, still hasn't immediately reacted and opened the doors to take the fight. Only when he hears the third plant, he knows he has to commit at that point. And well, I think it was a Dagger on the plant or Rogues, his thick booty sticking out from behind the silo there, made for an easy kill. And what a performance from Damage Control. I mean, they were stylish, excuse the pun, throughout the entirety of that series. It was an emphatic win, 16-11 over an overpass coming into Nuke. What was that, 16-7 they walk away with the win there? That's a shot across the bow going into the next round of the lower bracket as well, that these guys are not to be taken lightly.
Yeah, definitely. I think over towards the lower bracket, people have got to start to be worried about Damage Control, right? I mean, they face Ikasi next. And in all honesty, off the back of tonight's performance, who knows? Maybe Damage Control have got more life in them in the tournament. Maybe they can take it further. Maybe they can take on Ikasi, maybe win. Maybe they'll have a lower bracket run. And maybe Damage Control, maybe we'll see them further on in the tournament. All if, buts, and maybes. And hopefully that is the case for everyone's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, it was another thing that really impressed me about Damage Control's performance tonight is there was such a well-rounded team performance, right? Yes, there were moments of individual brilliance, you know, Style at the start of Overpass, Instant coming through, Explicits on Nuke, but Wounded had crazy high impact moments in both of the maps. Hellhound had crazy high impact moments on both of the maps. So it was just a really well-rounded team performance from Damage Control that got them across the line. They won all those really important rounds. They maintained huge amounts of pressure on Conspire by constantly putting them on the back foot as well. And they didn't do anything, you know, super complex on their T side. It was 4-1 split. Let's go outside, take control. Go into secret, split into mouse, split through CT, just like playing the T side as basically as you can, but it works out so well when there is that sort of game plan and that variety that they brought. So fantastic performance by Damage Control, really getting me giddy. And Nick, it's another 2-0.
We wanted 3 maps. We wanted 3 maps. But it does seem like Damage Control just have Nibble Conspire's number overall. I mean, they've every single time these two teams have come up, Damage Control has become the superior, and it just seems to be the narrative that plays out between these two teams. Rogues and Mokhmat being the standout performances for Nibble Conspire. Shizzy had a bit of a cameo, and unfortunately just not to be Nibble Conspire's day today. They're out of the tournament, which is always unfortunate. 4 teams have been knocked out. The round 1 is finished. That means round 2 of the low bracket is going to commence, and that's when things start to get juicy. We start to see the big boys come up against one another.
Absolutely, Nick. That's exactly when things start to get juicy. As you say, no more easy games from this point for any teams. Every game they have to work for and fight for. So yeah, make sure that you catch all of the matches from here on in if you haven't been joining us for the journey already. This is the Evesports EGL 1 2021 Season 2 main event. 50,000 Rand prize pool up for grabs. And we're going to be back on Tuesday for our next match, guys. We have a game every Tuesday and Thursday. I saw some new faces in chat, so if you guys aren't aware, we have a game every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 on this very channel. Be sure to follow Evesports on their social medias and subscribe to the channel as well to keep up to date with when the games come through. You can also check out the event on the Battlefy page. You can see all the games that have happened up till the point, the schedule, the results. Let's get our boy Josh to plug that link in chat so you guys can check that out. But for now, Nick, that's all we have in store.
I mean, 2-0s all around. Every single map has been 2-0. So all I'm saying is next week, give us some 3 mappers, give us some OTs, give us all the business that the people want to see. But I mean, Damage Control live on.
There we go. Damage Control live on. That's going to be the end of us for the night, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Keep safe. And yeah, remember 2 giveaways on Tuesday. So as I always say, if the incredible Counter-Strike isn't enough of a reason for you to join, come for the free stuff as well. We'll see you on Tuesday.